Preps Sports Interviews by Sunil, Sunder. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with Dani Lee, a junior at McLeod High School in McLeod, Kansas, a right-handed pitcher, a utility player on the varsity softball team, and the Carolina Cardinals Nationals 16U team. Once again, Dani, thank you for the opportunity, and great to be speaking with you, and congrats on your success.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Just an incredible 2023 year for you, especially in your sophomore year on the varsity softball team at McLeod High School. The team went undefeated, 26-0, won a state title, and your numbers were just absolutely jaw-dropping. Hit 620 with 11 home runs, 62 RBIs, a staggering 1,338 slugging percentage. Your on-base slugging percentage, again, was amazing, 27 extra base hits, undefeated pitching record at 12-0, 51 innings pitched, yielding just one earned run, a 1.370 ERA, 118 strikeouts, and just walking six. I mean, I don't think it's any better than that, Danny. Can you talk about how rewarding that was, to, again, put up those numbers?
Yeah, it's very rewarding. Ever since like the beginning of the year, we decided that we were going to work as a team to get to that state title, and just being able to have those hitters in front of me and behind me to allow me to get those great pitches, to get those good hits, and just being able to have that defense behind me, that maybe if I do miss a pitch and they get a hit, that my defense can help me out and get that out for me.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful to hear. I mean, just as you went through the season, or even entering, I said this year, did you, envision, look, I could have this type of the year individually, but as a team, they could, you could make a deep run as well here, Danny.
Yeah, last year we really thought that we could make a state run, but in regionals, we had a tough loss against Troy. We lost 1-0, and so ever since that year, having that loss really like lit a fire underneath us, and we told ourselves that we can actually win state. We just have to put our nose down and work hard and get to there, and anything's possible.
Yeah, that's tremendous. And the individual accolades definitely, said followed, this year, it said 2023 Northeast Kansas League, first team all league pitcher, Kansas coaches, two such 1A, first team all state utility, sports in Kansas, first team all state infield, sports in Kansas, two 1A player of the year, and sports in Kansas top 9 in all classes. I mean, again, just, absolutely, again, just spectacular, said accomplishments. What did that mean to you? Just to have, I mean, again, to see it all pan out for you, but just to, be recognized, by those organizations and your peers, again, for your, not only for the pitching, but also the work at the plate as well in the infield.
Yeah, coming from the small town of McLeod, it's really hard to be able to get noticed, and to have those awards given to me, it's really it's honoring to be able to finally have my name out there and people realize how hard I've worked.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Let's talk about your progression from your freshman to your sophomore year. It said 2022, again, I mean, Northeast Kansas League, first team all league utility and sports in Kansas all state honorable mention. In terms of, preparing for this season, putting that work in, talk about that, because obviously, I said you wanted to build off the success of last year and carry that over to this year. What again, what was what was that blueprint, for you, Danny?
Well, my freshman year, I really just went out there, played loose, have fun. I've been trying to work at the Kansas State home run record, and just knowing that being able to pick that pitch out and hit that pitch that I want really helped my first year. And then beginning of sophomore year, some people call it the sophomore slumps, but in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I was really trying to top all of my goals from last year. And so I put myself under a lot of pressure. And, my coach Ballard he really helped me focus and just stay in the moment and be where my feet are, and just to be able to calm down, keep it simple, and just have fun, and that helped a lot.
Yeah, no, again, just great attributes that you displayed. And yeah, I wanted to ask about head softball coach Ballard Patterson, who was also your hitting pitching coach. This is a man that again has a riveting, said personal story, and
Mhm.
let's put it out there that battled stage 4 liver cancer. You does it. He wasn't expected to live a year or two, but again, early on when you were say going for those lessons, 4 hours, 5 to 6 days a week. It's almost like you come full circle, as said here with Coach Patterson. But what did it mean, to be playing for him, and just in terms of again what those leadership skills and qualities he brought to the table for the team?
Yeah, whenever I first started going to lessons, like you said, we didn't know if he was actually going to be my high school coach. So I got to manage underneath him in my seventh grade year.
Hmm.
And just to see that how he coaches and how all the like players react to him, it's just amazing. Like the amount of respect that all the players give him. I wanted to be part of a team like that, but we didn't know if he was actually going to be able to coach us. So my sophomore year, him being able to coach us was it meant a lot to me, just to
Hmm.
be able to like show him that all of like the work what we've done together, what he's taught me, that I can do it for him and get that state title for him.
Yeah. I think just having that chemistry and that cohesiveness with,
Mhm.
with Coach Patterson, I think, made that transition, much easier for you as well, Danny.
Mhm.
Hey, let's transition to the Carolina Cardinals national 16U team. This summer again, you've been absolutely, able to, dominate, in terms of your dad provided the stats: 83 mile per hour exit velocity, hitting 68 mile per hour throwing arm velocity, pitching as fast as 64 miles per hour. But sometimes falling in between 60 and 62. Your changeup at 51 miles per hour. Your dad says your field IQ is off the charts. Just talk about, just in terms of, the attention to detail, your work ethic, obviously, showing that determination. How, I mean, again, and the fact that you're playing here into the summer, it's like, you're trying to improve your fundamentals and skills. And, again, get ready for, of course, your junior year as well at McLeod High School. But how beneficial has that been for you as well here, Danny?
Yeah, to me, the work is really fun. You mentioned me going to lessons, 4 hours a day, 5 days
Mhm.
a week. I think that's fun to me. That's my happy place. And, there's no place I'd rather be than just to be at the shop, getting work in, and just how rewarding it feels that after all that work, it like finally pays off. And
Mhm.
um, just work for my teammates, the Cardinals, those girls are really hardworking and they keep me motivated just to keep pushing and be the best teammate I can be for them.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously against some of the best competition, and then you have players from around the country, coming together as one. I mean, how great is that you get to meet people, players from different backgrounds, families. I'm sure that those are memories that you will cherish, forever. And, how good is that? Can you describe that as well here, Danny?
Yeah, there's been multiple times that I've played, guest played for teams that
Hmm.
I've never met these girls before, and
Yeah.
just to go out there and meet new people, it's really fun. And you get different backgrounds, different styles of playing, and it really, it helps me as a player to know that, the little things from what somebody else may do, I can put into my game,
Hmm.
and it really helps me expand.
Yeah, I think being meticulous and just again, uh, displaying that acumen for the game, is really again was so vital. And I wanted to ask you about a couple other things. You talked about playing for various teams, and of course, in the past, Patterson Sports Academy, hitting 3 home runs in a game. You've attended various collegiate camps, Florida Gators, Mercer University, University of Tennessee, Ole Miss, Georgia, numerous softball factory camps. I mean, those are just, again, to be able to soak up those experiences and learn at the highest level as well. Can you describe me the fact that, you know, eventually you're going to end up there one day, I said at a college or university, but being able to, get that feel, I'm sure again was just as essential for you, Daddy.
Yeah, camps are a lot of fun just to go, get different experiences and you get to meet new people. And just to imagine myself going to each camp, like, wow, I could really go here and spend like 4 years of my college years at that
Mhm.
school. And it's just so surreal to, imagine myself at those places. And also, meeting those new people and expanding my game and having different coaches, maybe teach me this one way in
Yeah.
another way, but just to be able to be coachable and figure out, what would work best for me.
Yeah, that's great. And again, the individual achievements, I mean, in the past here, 2019 USA Softball All-American Team Region 7, United States Sports Specialty Association, Missouri Kansas All-Stars 2020 and 2021 Softball Factory Academic All-American Team. Hey, I want to ask you, going back to 2020 COVID time, but you still were able to play. And I think that was, for a lot of athletes, most of their seasons got shut down, but you were able to play, I said on the 18th, you gold team and got the opportunity to play in 3 tournaments. So had to ask you, and I think it's a great nugget here. You got to pitch and hit against Jordy Bowe, who of course played at the University of Oklahoma and now transferred to the University of Nebraska. But how about Jordy? I mean, just what she was able to accomplish in her sophomore year. I said absolutely unbelievable. 22-1, 4-0 during the Women's College World Series and named most outstanding pitcher. But she hit a grand slam off you. But talk about
Yeah.
talk about, I mean, being able to, again, go one-on-one against a player that ended up at Division 1 at the highest, with one of the most, again, dominant, teams ever. I mean, the run they've had, for so many years in the University of Oklahoma. But what was that experience, like for you, Dani?
Yeah, I was only 14 years old playing at 18s, and
Hmm.
we're playing this Nebraska Gold team. And, going into the game, I didn't know, um, who was all on that team. And
Hmm.
it wasn't till later on that whenever she had her freshman year at Oklahoma, we went back in the books and we
Yeah.
saw, oh my gosh, that's Jordy Ball.
Yeah.
And so I'm hitting and, she's throwing fast, little 14-year-old Dani has never seen anything like this before. So I'm like, the whole time I'm like, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. And so and so, I just stuck my bat out on one of her pitches and it just happened to go into right
Oh,
field, little
yeah.
doinker. But hey, I took the single. And then her team was really tough to play against. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I walked 3 batters
Hmm.
and she comes up to hit and I throw one right down the middle and she hits this grand slam and all I could do is like clap and be like, wow,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah. No,
But it
definitely. It
was
is.
fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's great. Show that appreciation. And then also you guest played on the Tulsa Elite team out of Oklahoma. Said the following spring and summer. And oh, I love this story. You hit 3 home runs in one weekend tournament, but this is the real kicker is that you had to bet with your dad, and in terms of how many home runs you could hit. So the bet was that if you won, he had to grow a 1980s mullet. So you obviously won, and I know he hasn't bet with you since then. But just talk about that.
Yeah, so around the house, my dad makes me cut his hair. And one day, I was cutting his hair, and that's when like mullets were like
Yeah,
really in. And
yeah.
I'm like, you need a mullet. And he was like, "I'm not gonna have a mullet." And so I'm like, "Okay, let's make it a bet." And so we made that bet, and he didn't think I could do it, but
Yeah.
I was like, "He's getting that mullet." So, I hit those home runs, and that my 3rd home run in that tournament, I was like, "You're getting a mullet," and he was excited, but he was also a little frustrated that
Yeah.
he lost the bet.
That's funny. It's great to hear. Hey, just going back to your technique, just working on your swing, your mechanics on on the mound, at the plate. There's so much that goes into it. On the mound, it's that communication, of course, with your catcher, and just in terms of even the infield and outfield, and then of course at the plate, going one on one with the opposing pitcher. So I had to ask you two entirely different components, but what goes into that? What is really that in terms of how it just are preparing for those moments, Danny?
The big word I would say for that is trust. Um,
Hmm.
on pitching, I have to trust that my defense has my back, and they have to trust me that I'm going to work the best that I can to get each batter out. And, if I do mess up, they have my back. And trust hitting too. I trust that the person behind me can hit me home, or maybe if I did strike out or get out, trust that they have my back and they can get on base for me and pick me up. And the
Hmm.
person in front of me, if they get on, they trust the same thing for me. So just having, you know, um, trust in my teammates and them trusting me to be able to get the job done.
Yeah, you exude that confidence, and I think that's what you need to do in order to compete. Is that if you don't have that inner strength within you, because I was going to get into this. You talked about the strength and condition, like in terms of the hitting lessons, but nutrition, mental health, but that again, being mentally locked in. Everybody talks about how the physicality of sports and even in softball, but I think mentally, just pre-game and then once you get out there onto the field, again, is just, I mean, that's so important to have that under your belt, Danny.
Yeah, softball is a big mental game. I'd say, 95% of the game is mental.
Hmm.
And just playing out there, playing loose and having fun, softball is my happy place. And when I go out there, win or lose, home run or strikeout,
Yeah.
you just have to, stay stay on the line and not get too happy and not get too sad.
Hmm.
And really, I don't want to use the word not caring, but on the field, you play like you don't care, but you play with passion.
Yeah.
So, like, you want to be there, you work hard, but if you fail or succeed, it really doesn't matter because you're just playing a game. Softball
Hmm.
is a game you play. It's not who you are.
No, I think that's an excellent point that you make there. Hey, I wanted to go back to McLeod High School. Putting that Bulldogs uniform on. What does that represent to you personally? I'm always interested, like especially when you're playing for your high school. It's very meaningful.
Mhm. Yeah, putting on that Bulldogs uniform, it's not just purple and gold, it's not just words across the chest. It really means something to me. We're a really small town, everyone knows everyone. And just to be able to represent my school in a positive manner and being able to go out there and teams we play, they're like, oh my gosh, we're playing McLeod.
Yeah.
But they like playing us because, we're fun, we're great teammates, it looks like we're just having a blast and we're just playing the game of softball because that's all we're doing.
Yeah, no, that's true. Hey, you talk about just the home games, but as well as those away games are special because that's where you build up that again that cohesion is that just in terms of that chemistry and having the team clicking on those cylinders. Uh, Describe those moments. Just because a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes. You know time. So just describe that, what that's meant in the first couple of years here at McLeod High School.
Yeah, home games are a lot of fun. Um, but I personally, I like the away games the most.
Hmm.
Not just because, we're on the bus, we have our speakers, we're jamming
Yeah.
out, having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that bus ride there is just us, getting ready, knowing that we're about to go to battle with our teammates. And it's kind of like just like a party on the bus, and it's just a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Home games are fun too. We have our music, we're just not in a bus.
Yeah.
And, we have, other athletes who come to support our games and
Hmm.
cheering us on, and just know that we have the town behind us, that they believe in
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, that's what I was going to steer the conversation towards is McLeod High School, the student body. You talked about the athletes, administration, athletic department, because having that structure in place from top to bottom, I really think, again, if you want to be successful, you need to have that in place. And, obviously you could see the results, with the softball team. Just talk about that here again, the first 2 years.
Yeah, another word I can say for that is family. Our whole
Hmm.
school is, since we are so small, it's like a family. Everyone, we work together, and you mentioned administration. Um, Whatever we needed, they would supply. So if we needed a place to have extra practice, they would allow us to have that and just work with us as long as we were doing the right things and doing what we can to be good people, good players, good students. They would allow us to do those things. And we
Hmm.
have this team scavenger hunt at the end of the year.
Hmm.
And so basically, around town, um, our coach Ballard, he puts this list of fun things to do, and it's like we had to find, if you found like a frog or a crawdad or like a turtle, you would
Yeah.
get extra points, and you would like run around town, and if you like had the turtle or anything in it with you in the video, that you would get extra
Hmm.
points. And the junior group, they found a bird. No birds were harmed in this, but they found a bird, and one of the tasks was to go into the bank and make a TikTok with one of the bank people. And so one of the girls was holding up the bird in the TikTok video, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
That's great. Just to lighten up the mood, and it said again, have the because there's so much pressure with
Mhm.
succeeding on the field, but being able to have that off the field, team bonding and activities is important. Hey, again, you've been able to excel on the softball field, but how about the classroom? Flourishing, 4.0 GPA, ranked number one in your class. Obviously, you have that time management organization down pat, but that is no walk in the park. I mean, you talk
Mhm.
about between the practices, the training, game, day, you talk about the away games, bus trips, having to come back, hit the books. I mean, probably up late at night, but striving to be the best in your class, which you have met that criteria. I mean, again, to have that, I'm sure you carry a lot of pride and joy, being a student athlete.
Mhm. Yeah, balance is definitely a key to using that. The same work that you put into softball, you need to put that same work into school.
Hmm.
And I think I'm very competitive, so um, working hard in school to be the top of my class, and um, if this person got this percent on the test, I expect myself to get that or higher.
Hmm.
Just to work hard, and it's friendly competition too. Um, just studying, doing all that work.
Hmm.
It's the same as softball, just in school.
Yeah, and I think just having that communication with your teachers, and
Mhm.
you know, I'm sure that again, you're able to, they understand the demands of athletics and softball as well, but obviously, you've been able to pair that up very well, and it again, the results have paid off for you immensely. I want to go back to softball. You talked about managing, said on the softball team, coached by Ballard Patterson, seventh grade. You have that passion, for the game, playing it since you were 8 years old. Your dad said watching YouTube videos of, Florida softball for hours, teaching yourself the basics of pitching by watching your favorite pitcher, Kelly Barnhill. Uh, and then 11 started playing rec softball. But What are some of the intangibles for you, Danny, about the game, whether it's on and off the field, that really make you come back, year after year?
That's a good question. Um, it's just fun, just
Yeah.
going out there and just being with most teammates. It's not just the game that's fun, but the teammates that I am around, the stuff that we do on the field, off the field. It's just a breath of fresh air,
Hmm.
and going on the field, it's almost addicting, that feeling whenever you're on the field. It's just
Hmm.
it's just a lot of fun.
I'm just, I have the utmost respect for you. I mean, you're in seventh grade and you're managing and you're throwing batting practice. I said, and you followed it up even with the new coach the following year, displaying those leadership skills and those responsibilities at such an early age. The fact that you're building that, and I again, it's just a testament to how much you love the game. But those moments, I mean, when you look back on them, I mean, what comes to your mind, Danny?
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that opportunity. In lessons too, um, even now, I go to lessons and there's, even 8-year-olds all the way to 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy when I was their age, looking up to those older people and, hey, I want to be just like them,
Yeah.
looking up to them. And they not only see me as a little kid, but they also coach me up and help me with that too.
Hmm.
And I do the same thing for littles now. But managing high school, seeing, those pitchers and playing at that level, I wanted to be just like them. And so I told myself that I'm going to work hard to be just like them. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I was good. Just, I'm so glad you brought that up because now, as it entering your junior year, you're going to be able to pass that knowledge and experience to the underclassmen. So, again,
Mhm.
where you were as a freshman, now as an upperclassman, I'm sure, again, making those strides and being able to pay it forward, again, is just, it's just a great sight to see it. Hey, this is another awesome story. And I had to bring up, uh, summer before eighth grade, you hit your first home run, but your dad missed it because he was getting off work. He drove to the game, listening to Game Changer, and heard the blast. Less than 3 miles from the park where it happened, he was sitting at a stoplight, screaming at the top of his lungs, celebrating your achievement. I said you watched, your other friends hitting, numerous home runs because they had played comp ball at 8 or 9 years old and playing on smaller fields that allowed them to start hitting at a younger age. So that moment, well, I mean, to be able, I mean, again, a beautiful moment. What was that like? And it, always hitting a home run is like, the icing on the cake. So, but talk about that particular, game.
Yeah, so I was in 12U, and I see all my teammates hitting these home runs, and for the longest time, I wanted to hit a home run. And
Mhm.
so, I was actually in a slump, and, I get this beautiful pitch, and I just hit it, and I didn't even think it went over. But as I'm
Yeah.
rounding first base, I trip over the base. And so
Oh,
I had to go back and step on it, but I thought it like bounced over. I didn't know it went over.
yeah.
So I also stopped at second base, and then they told me it was a home run. So it was a little
Yeah.
embarrassing, but
Yeah.
also it was very rewarding when I hit that home run.
Yeah.
Sad that he couldn't see it, but when we went home that day, we got ice cream and celebrated the birth of my first home run.
Yeah, and he says he hasn't missed one, since then.
Mm-mm.
I'm wondering if you remember, I know it's so many years later, but first time, you took the field, swung a bat, put the uniform on, any, recollection and just, what, you remember those times
Well,
as well.
yeah, ever since I could walk, I was with my grandpa inside the living room, and
Hmm.
he would take these socks and wrap them up. And, he was really the first person who taught me how to play
Hmm.
softball. And I remember, playing catch with those socks and him working with me. And I thought it was just a game, just like you would play Monopoly. I would
Yeah.
throw the socks with my grandpa. And, I have videos of me pitching, like, my first rec game and all that
Hmm.
stuff, and just to look back on it and see that the love that that little Danny got for the game has not changed. If
Yeah.
not, it's grown more for the game, and
Yeah.
just being able to look back and, make her proud, means a lot to me.
Yeah, that's fabulous. It's great to see. Just capturing those moments on video are again so memorable.
Mhm.
I know you have uh quite an emotional story to tell. And I know it. This is the one that really hits at the heart. And but I think everybody should hear this, and I hope they listen to this. Is that when you were playing for the Tulsa Elite team in Colorado for the annual Sparkler tournament, your mom came down with COVID, and your dad says that she was isolated when you played, and which the coaching staff decided that would be the last time the team would play in the tournament with coach, and it was eventually disbanded. You and your dad had COVID before you left for Colorado, but recovered for that. But on July 4th, you made the 10-hour trip back to McLeod. Next morning, your mother was not feeling well, and you guys were to check her into the hospital, but tragically, she collapsed in the kitchen and stopped breathing. Your dad's performed CPR on her for a while, and the ambulance arrived. But unfortunately, you guys lived in the countryside. She was unresponsive for 20 minutes, and the paramedics were sadly unable to save her. It's it really that's. I mean, it is. I guess it's hard to put into words, but no, it's the worst feeling, and you lose a parent. But well, what did that do to you? Your dad said that you guys prayed in front of the house, and God told your dad to trust Him, and said to each other to continue to practice faith and walk the path that had been laid before both of you. But when that occurred, I mean, just walk everybody through it. You really have the floor here, Danny. To let everybody know what you experienced.
Yeah, she was my biggest fan, and that time was really hard, but, like my dad said, just to trust in God that He has a plan for each and every one of us, and, the things um, He does for a reason, and He knows that we're strong enough to withstand that, and,
Hmm.
just to go on that field and play for her and play for God, and just to go out there and do it for her, um, keeps me going too.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Said again, I know she's always there, looking above you, and said you're again doing again absolutely wonderful job here on and off the field. Hey, I think yeah, I mean, just moving forward from that point, I'm just gonna ask you the next question, but just moving from that, I mean, that is really the hardest, the hardest steps to take, is to move from that. You never forget, but just to get back on the field, get back into the classroom. I just it takes a lot of resolve, a lot of resiliency, to be able to do that, to muster the strength and energy. How were you able to do that, Danny?
Yeah, that same weekend, actually, I had a tournament, and, we were debating, do we play the tournament? Do we not play the
Hmm.
tournament? But if she was here, she would have told me, "You're playing that tournament, go
Yeah.
out there."
Hmm.
And she used to sit behind the backstop in her little rocking chair, and for the longest time, we'd put her chair there in that
Hmm.
same spot that she would sit, and it really just helped me to know that she's still there.
Hmm.
Um, if I can see her, if I can't see her at all, she's still there, and knowing that playing softball is what she would want me to do.
Yeah. No, it's again just fantastic, to hear. Hey, I couple more left, but I think you're in a perfect spot. You talked about the kids and being able to again uh help them along this way, and I think a lot of kids and athletes, younger kids and athletes, need that. I'm sure I said when you were growing up, you looked up to a lot of them, and then of course attending these camps as well have been again outstanding for you. But what's the advice you would give to the kids out there? I mean, because so much out there. It's so competitive, social media, that there are a lot of mitigating factors. But what would you say to them as they're trying to select, what sport to play and just to move up that ladder? I think, a lot of kids need to hear, from another athlete, especially, high school, what it really takes, and just in terms of being able to figure this whole plan out.
Yeah, well, to pick your sport, I think just to be able to try new things, find what makes you the most happy.
Hmm.
And just whenever you pick that sport, enjoy the moment, enjoy the little things. And you never know when your last game on that court, field, whatever it is, you never know
Yeah.
when the last game is going to be. And I actually did learn that um, a couple weeks ago. I was pitching and a girl hit a line drive and she dislocated my finger.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so just going through that process of healing
Yeah.
and stuff, um, that could have been my last game, that could have been my last pitch. Just so I would give the advice, go out there and just give it your hardest, have fun, and
Hmm.
also know, like I said, whatever that sport is, it's just a game.
Yeah.
It's no different than playing Monopoly at home with your family.
Hmm.
It's not who you are, and it shouldn't define you as a person.
Yeah. And that, again, sound advice. And, you know, I'm so glad you brought. People tend to forget the bumps and bruises, the injuries that pop
Yeah.
up. This is not sometimes for the faint of weary. But the fact that you get off the mat, you go through your rehab, and then let's say you're back out there on the field. So that look, I think equally again critical is women in sports. And I've asked a lot, and I think softball, we've seen the rise in popularity, especially here with college softball. But look at high school softball. We have little league, softball ongoing, the tournament. Uh, you know, it's great to see the travel teams, the rec teams. You know, it's I mean, again, to see it year round. Uh, it's just again it's so nice to see to be in that moment, be in this moment and part of this movement, and have a platform now to be able to express yourself. Talk about that, Danny.
Yeah, this game has really expanded, and I'm very grateful for the amount of popularity that not only softball but other women's sports have gotten.
Hmm.
Um, just to know, like the pro, even after college, that after those 4 years, if I wanted to continue playing, that there is opportunity for that to
Yeah.
happen. And there's since I was little, I also dreamed of playing for the Olympic team,
Yes.
and just to know that after college, there's more to softball, um, and that it's starting to get that popularity, and maybe the little girls underneath me will have even more opportunities and more pro teams and more money and that stuff.
Yeah, that I know that's been a hot button topic, especially with the United States women's soccer team, and finally getting that same equality in terms of pay, and I said with advertising as well, endorsements. Yeah, that 2 years ago with the Olympic team, the fact is that you had now you can stream the games online. I talked about Game Changer before. I mean, there's so much out there. You've had, of course, television as well. But I think, now with utilizing social media, Twitter, Instagram has helped out as well in aiding that. The fact that you could really get out there and promote your name, your brand, the teams as well. Again, is again, you know, it's awesome to see that. Hey, I think well deserved here, Danny. You get the final word and message here for family, friends, teammates, and coaches. McLeod High School, Carolina Cardinals National 16U team, of course, the student body administration, athletic department at McLeod High School, and most importantly, the community in McLeod, Kansas. So I really wanted to give you, said the opportunity. I'm sure there are a lot of people you want to thank here, Danny.
Yeah, there's an incredible amount of people who've been in my journey, not only, the bad, but also the good. I would like to thank Ballard Patterson for being there, ever since, I could barely throw a softball. I'd also like to thank my dad for always pushing me and wanting to be the best person I could be on and off the field. I'd also like just to thank all of the people who have pushed me to be where I am. McLeod, the city of McLeod, my high school team, my school, just all the supporters, and even the people who maybe didn't believe in me, just to give me that passion to prove them wrong, and just to be the person I am now.
A true honor and privilege being able to speak with you, Danny. You are an inspiration, a role model, for so many kids out there across this country and world. And hard to believe that you're just a junior. You still have 2 more years left here this year. And then, of course, your senior year at McLeod High School. And, of course, playing for travel teams as well. And, wishing you continued success. And can't wait to see what you do again here in your junior year.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you.